I just put a front axle U-joint in this side. I did not video putting the U-joint in there, but there's plenty of those videos easily found on YouTube. While I had it apart, what I really wanted to show you is that I freed this hub up. I couldn't turn it before unless I used these big pliers on it. But I discovered how to actually take the black center cap out of the housing. So I'm going to do the other one because this one, it's really hard. I can turn it with pliers. Let's pull this apart and I'm going to show you how to remove this out of it and get the corrosion out of there and the crap, and it'll work smoothly. Yeah, and these little Torx headed bolts on here are T27. Those are really usually pretty loose. And the only thing that's holding that in now after you get the bolts out is an O-ring. So it should pull out of there without too much effort. But you can also, I'm going to grab a screwdriver, get a screwdriver in there, because that O-ring does stick a little bit. You just work it. Don't try to force it all in one pry. Just kind of work it back and forth. Slowly work the O-ring out. There. This is the O-ring, is the red orange O-ring there. I'm going to disassemble this so we can free this up. Let's do it on this workbench here. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is all these tabs here are just little clips that go into this groove. So what I'm going to do is pry those out. And let's see, I don't have enough screwdrivers here. I'm going to go grab a couple more. Once you get 3 or 4 of them out, it'll come up. I kind of pry up with this screwdriver at the same time. Let's see if I can get more than 3 of these. Get it started. It's kind of a awkward task. There might be a better way to slip something in there. Let's see here. Just if I could just get that screwdriver to stay down there. That one. And one here, that's 3 of them. Let's see if we can do this 4th one. There we go. It just popped up out of the groove on these. So, whoops. I can stand that. There we go. So now I'm just going to work around and get the ones that aren't out yet. That one, that one, that one more. This one here. So that comes off. Doesn't matter the orientation. When you turn the dial there, it just pushes this in like so. So now the trick to disassembling this. I'm gonna need to turn it. So lock is this way. You can see when I turn this, Just this separate piece in the center drops down, and there are these ramps that push that back up. So we want to go all the way to the top position, and we want to turn it a little further. We're going to need those screwdrivers again. Just want to get this is hitting a stop. Let's see if I can let me see if I can turn it with a little bit smaller pliers. It's just too awkward with those big ones. Okay. So there's a little flat place where it locks into, that's when you lock in the hubs. It goes up and it kind of locks in that little flat right there. But we want to get this up on top of here. To do that, let's try it like this. Yeah, we can. We might need 3 little screwdrivers. 3 pocket screwdrivers. Let me get a couple more pocket screwdrivers. Okay, and we're just gonna push these up on the ramps like that. I think it only has to come up a little bit like that. Yeah. Let's see if that's enough. Looks like enough. See if I can turn it this way. With that pressure on there, it looks like they're going to hold up now. Let's see. There we go. Now you see what it did? It turned all the way to that stop, and I think, yeah, that's far enough. And that is how you get that out of there. This gasket on here has a little groove in it. Just remember that that groove faces up like this. So basically, here's what's going on in there. Let's take this other piece out. That's just sitting in there. It's corrosion. Corrosion. It really builds up and just pushes against the plastic. I mean, you can't even really see signs of it scraping it or anything, but so you got to get that corrosion out of there with a piece of sandpaper. Got a piece of 80 grit here. Fold that to make it a little stiffer, because I want to get in this. There's a little shelf there. Then this is just where that that's where the gasket rides. But that could get pretty badly corroded, so we got to clean that out. And you want where that seal goes to be pretty clean, just so it'll seal better. And won't let that moisture in there. Okay, that looks good. The seal can even, you know, it'll have some crap stuck on it. I like to get that all cleaned off with the, use the screwdriver or fingernail or a little sandpaper. Not, I probably wouldn't use that 80 grit, but something like a 600 maybe. Just like we're doing here. Looks. Get the crap, the hard crap off it. Feels nice and smooth. These little tabs here go up in this groove. Right there. That's why we had to go past the lock, or all the way clockwise and then up onto the top. Just that's where it lines up with these slots. Right there. Okay, let's grease it and put it back together. I just replaced the cartridge in my grease gun and that would have squirted out in the trash. So we're going to cover all this in here. Get it good in there where the seal goes. So hopefully that'll keep the moisture out. Okay. The groove facing out. Stick that on there. Don't forget to put this in. This little point up. You have to line up these grooves. So that'll slide down in there. And then put the arrow just past that. You can see those are about where we had it, but you have to push it in and turn it. Look at that. Now all we have to do, well, you want to turn it counterclockwise to automatic so this can go down. Then you won't have to push against that. That's it. Let's put it back in the truck. Okay, so there's quite a bit of rust just laying in here. You see it coming out? Just gonna wipe that out. This O-ring, actually where it seals, is inside on the shiny part. And the gasket out here is what's supposed to keep this dirt out of this area, which I'm sure it is. That's probably just where this metal has corroded. And because it's just shiny and there's no oil in there or grease. You could clean that all up, but I don't see any reason to. In this case, I'm just going to put this back in. There's a little lineup pin on here, and that just goes in one of the holes. They have extra holes here. I guess if one of your bolts had broke off, you could rotate it. You have to make sure your pin isn't going to go into the spot where the broken bolt is. Looks like ours was right here. Maybe like this, yeah. And this, I'm going to put it on automatic. I don't think that matters, but you just need to wiggle it. You might have to turn the wheel a little bit to get the splines to line up. That one went right in all the way. I don't know how much these cost, but I'm sure it isn't cheap. And if you don't need all those splines, probably there's nothing wrong with them. I have seen before some plastic pieces in there get broken off, but this one was fine. Not very tight on these. Beautiful. Well, thanks for watching. Very easy to do and save quite a bit of money, I believe.